Hello everybody, Jake here from FMSCOUT, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be choosing our Wonderkid team of Football Manager 20. Not all the players are going to be my own opinions, it's going to be the kind of players everyone talks about, even if I haven't personally used them myself. But obviously there is going to be quite a lot of disagreement because that's what happens in these things. Everyone has their own saves, everyone has their own favourite players. So what I want you guys to do down below is to comment your team of FM21. So 11 players, one for each position. Let me know who your favourites are, and I think it would just be really interesting to see all your guys' ideas. A big thank you to all you guys who have came over to my channel as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description. We're growing really nice over there, way faster than I thought we would, so thank you for that. And we're going to get into the first player, starting with the goalkeeper position. So for goalkeeper, I've gone for the 17-year-old Martin van der Voort. Now, goalkeeper, to be honest, was a position this year which it was hard to find some really good wonder kids. Obviously, there is Gianluigi Donnarumma. I didn't put him in here because I thought it would be a bit too obvious, so I figured I'd leave him out of this one, and we've gone for Martin van der Voort instead. In every save I've done, I've actually never bought him for myself, but I've heard a lot of good things about him, and he always goes on to play for one of the big clubs. I've seen him be Liverpool's #1 after Alisson. I've seen him be Atletico Madrid's #1 goalkeeper. He always does pretty good for me, at least from what I've seen, and he starts off with pretty good stats anyway, to be fair. It's no surprise that he does do well. He starts at Genk in the Belgian division, doesn't usually stay there very long. He made his debut for the club, as you can see here, career milestone in 2019. So yeah, just a really fun, interesting prospect. A lot of you guys will probably use them yourself. If you have a different opinion though, let me know in the comments. That's what this is for. And we're going to move on to the right back spot. So the guy we're going to be looking at in the right back spot is Takeru Tomiyasu. I hope I pronounced that right. If there's any Japanese viewers watching, I'm sorry. He's a Japanese international, 20 years old, already got 15 caps to his name. I'm sure that's gone up in real life since then. He plays for Bologna in the Italian divisions, and he starts off with pretty good mental stats, good physicals, good enough for a right back anyway, and decent technicals that always improve. He can also feature at centre back, but he's one of them that's one of the more guaranteed players to hit his potential, and his potential is very high. Right back again was a spot. I think goalkeepers and fullbacks were the hardest to find spots this year for Wonderkids in my opinion. But this guy, I've signed him before. I know many people who have as well. He always does really well. I wouldn't say he's a standout in any kind of stat. He's not like an amazing crosser or really fast. Obviously, there is Alexander-Arnold, who I didn't go for in this video. Reece James was a close second for me after my Chelsea save on my own channel. He won a Ballon d'Or, for God's sake. I don't know how. But yeah, we've gone for Tomiyasu at right back, though. He's an all-round player who you can develop pretty much any way you want. He's not lacking in any areas, and any areas that you want him to improve in, obviously, he will do. He's only 20 years old. He's a wonder kid. And he doesn't usually cost a bomb either at the start of a save. So Tomiyasu is the right back that I'm going for in my team. And the left back we're looking at is Ryan Aït-Nouri. Now, he's a man who isn't at Angers anymore. He's at Wolves in real life. They've gone and signed him along with every other wonder kid in the world. He's a French left back, always goes on to do big things in my saves at least, and I know everyone else loves him too. His physicals do need a bit of work, to be fair, but his mentals are already there, and his determination is high enough that you can get his physicals up. Obviously, depending on which save you load up, he's going to be better or worse, but usually he does pretty good. He's an excellent crosser at the age of 18, which only goes up, and he is one of them like attacking fullbacks. He does a good job going forward, but he doesn't lack in defence either, to be fair. He's a player who, again, he doesn't cost the world. Wolves have got a really good signing if he lives up to his potential. I think everyone loves this man. Anyone who uses him loves him. He scores goals, he assists, and he defends well. Ryan Aït-Nouri, he's not fighting with much competition, to be fair. The left back spot is a hard one in Football Manager 20, but he gets the top spot for me and is in my team. And now we'll move on to our two centre backs. Now we're moving on to probably the most obvious choice in the team. It's the centre back. It's Diop Upamecano. Everybody loves him. He's a wonder kid with amazing physicals that don't need any work. His stats are already pretty much there at the age of 20. Always goes on to be France's best centre back. He's brilliant. He's great in real life too. He looks like he's going to go on to do big things. In this list, I tended to stray away from like already well-known players, but he's one I couldn't get away from. I think he might have the highest potential ability in Football Manager 20 in the centre-back spot. Not too sure, but he's one that obviously everyone knows him. Everyone's probably signed him if you've managed a big club. He's amazing, he does brilliantly, and he's just a nailed-on starter in this team for sure. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did struggle for my other centre-back position, but I eventually went for Alessandro Bastoni at centre-back, the Italian who plays for Inter Milan. I had him in my Chelsea save at the back alongside with Mancano, and I thought I've got to include him here. I did check online, and other people do say good things about him too. It wasn't just me. He's a 20-year-old wonderkid. I believe he's actually playing in Inter Milan's team in real life, keeping the likes of Skriniar out of the squad, so he's doing quite well for himself. Physical is already great. He's a 6'3" centre back. I always use him as a ball playing defender because he can pass pretty well, and obviously that goes up. He's only 20, so his stats are all there, good enough to go up. He's a quality centre back. Nothing more really needs to be said. He is competing with probably the Ligt for me, but I thought he's a bit less of a wonderkid nowadays because he's obviously really well known, plays for Juventus. Not saying everyone else isn't, but I just thought, I've used Bastoni this year, I'm going to go for Bastoni. But I assume this is a position that's going to cause quite a lot of controversy, so let me know in the comments who you'd pick, and we're going to move on to my two-man central midfield. And obviously I'm going to have Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes here. He's the one that everyone will have in their team, even if you don't sign him yourself. He goes on to play for all the big boys, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Man City, whoever, he's there, PSG, the lot. I've seen him at every single club. He starts at the age of 16. He does cost quite a bit of money, to be fair, but you can see why. At the age of 16, he's as good as most midfielders you find, and he's got the potential to develop too. His physicals are good, his technicals are good, his mentals are good, it all goes up. He's got 15 determination, he's only 16. If you can get him in the first 2 seasons, probably the best time to buy him, because then his progress is going to skyrocket. He's going to cost a lot more money than before. He's pretty much a nailed-on superstar in real life too. He can operate in that defensive midfield spot, but I tend to use him in that midfield centre role, and that's what we're going for in this. He's a guaranteed player in this team for me, and we'll move on to my other central midfielder now. Now we're looking at Benfica's CDM, who I've put in central midfield for the sake of this video, Florentino Luis. He's 19 years old, and you can already see his mental stats are incredible for a 19-year-old. His determination really helps him. Model citizen, it's the best personality you can get. He always goes on to do big things. I'm sure he will do in real life too. He's a wonder kid who, just like it says here, plays short, simple passes, brings a ball out of defence. He does exactly what you want in that defensive midfield role. He acts as the linchpin between your defence and midfield, even chips in with goals and assists too though. But that's not his specialty. You can see his passing isn't that high, but his tackling and everything like that is brilliant. His anticipation, he reads a game like no other. Doesn't cost a crazy amount of money at the start either at the age of 19. And yeah, he's just absolutely amazing, position and everything. This guy's absolutely brilliant. There's no other ways to put it. So he's my central midfielder in this list alongside Camavinga. And now we're going to move on to our attacking midfield players and our striker. In left wing, we've gone for the on-loan Barcelona man, Pedri. It was a tough choice between Ansu Fati and him for me, but I've gone for Pedri just because in my saves he's done really well. And I think he does have the highest potential ability in terms of left wingers. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Starts off at Las Palmas on loan from Barcelona, but he's already a brilliant player. His physicals need a bit of work, to be fair, but everything else is there. His mentals are there. His technicals could stay like that forever and you'd be fine with him still. But obviously he's only 16. They skyrocket and he does absolutely brilliantly. I don't know whether this happens in every save, but in a lot of the saves I've done, he tends to leave Barcelona for quite cheap. He doesn't seem to get in the team past some other players, and then he becomes quite an easy option to pick up because he usually wants to leave. Maybe that's just my experiences though, but Pedri is an absolutely brilliant player at left wing. He hasn't cost the most amount of money when I've tried to buy him, and I think he's just an incredible player. I've had saves where he doesn't actually reach his potential, but he's still amazing, and that says a lot about him. So Pedri, left wing, nailed on, and now we'll move on to right wing. Moving on to the more bargain player in the list, I could have gone for Kylian Mbappe here at right wing. I thought, again, that's a bit too obvious. He's already really well known. So we've gone for Facundo Pelestri from Penarol in Uruguay. And the reason I've gone for him is he comes on the cheap and he's actually a really good player. I think he's usually an inside forward on this right wing. And he's brilliant. Like, everything he does just seems to turn to gold. His finishing's only 9, but for some reason he gets loads of goals for me. Maybe it's because it develops quite a bit later into his career. But yeah, he's a top player. His physicals are great with the potential to improve. I mean, you'd hope his strength would go up a little bit, which it obviously does. He is only 17. He's already got the passing and everything he needs there. His technicals will go up, of course. But just for the sheer price that you can get him for, I had to include him in this list. If you guys have had success with him too, let me know. I'm not sure whether he does have that kind of success for you guys, but for me, he's always looked really good. I'm going to say now that Arezzo isn't in this list either, but he is one that I considered putting right wing. So Arezzo, big shout out to him. I got £90 million for him a season after I brought him on a free. So Arezzo, thank you for that. So let me know what you think, and now we're going to go on to the attacking midfield spot. Now in the attacking midfield spot, I've gone for Thiago Almada. I seem to compare him to Dybala quite a lot. When he reaches his potential, he seems quite similar to Dybala in his style of play. He's got the personality of perfectionist, so there's a reason he does really well. But if I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, I've got to say this recommendation has came from other people. I'm ashamed to say I've never signed Thiago Almada in my saves, although he was always at like a Tottenham or a Man City, or in my most recent save he replaced Ronaldo at Juventus, so you can see there is talent there, but unfortunately I never bought him myself. but I've heard he does come fairly cheap from Velez at the start of a game. His determination is high, which obviously helps him out in terms of becoming a better player. With that perfectionist personality, it helps him, of course. He starts off with some good traits too. Just a top quality player on the cheap. No one can complain about this spot, I don't think. Shout out to Ryan Gravenberch though, who didn't get into this team and very much could have, or Mariba from Barcelona. I thought they're both brilliant, but I've gone for Almada just because of how cheap he comes. And now we move on to the final spot, which is the striker position. And I've gone for none other than Fabio Silva, now Wolves player, currently at Porto in this save. Always does really well. Could have gone for Haaland, I really could have, but it's Erling Haaland. Everyone knows him. He scores bags of goals no matter what, but Fabio Silva is the one that you can get for fairly cheap at the start of your save if you play it right. Keep an eye on him at Porto and eventually you'll be able to get your hands on him, and he just always turns into an amazing player. You can see at the age of 16 he'd already be good enough for quite a lot of teams, and he only develops more. He's got the determination to help him do so. No doubt about this guy, he had to be in the team for me. If anyone has any complaints, let me know who you think you'd have. But I think Fabio Silva, everyone's seen him score bags of goals no matter who you play for. If you have him yourself or not, he still gets goals. He probably scored against you if you haven't bought him, he's that good. I had one save where he scored almost 100 goals for Portugal. I don't know whether that beats Ronaldo's record, it probably doesn't, but that just shows you the kind of players he's competing with at his peak. So Fabio Silva for me is the striker in this team, and that is my team completed. So let me know what you thought of the team. This is the kind of video I make kind of just for fun. We're getting towards the end of FM20 now, and you guys can get involved in the comments too, and I really do enjoy seeing who you guys pick for these positions. I'm sure some of you are outraged at who I've picked, so let me know. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like and hit that subscribe button for all the best Football Manager content as we get closer to FM21. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.